Ever have one of those days where your mind just will not shut off? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. Well, today we're going to uncover a really simple but honestly profound secret to finding that inner quiet. And guess what? It's all hidden inside a powerful little story.
Wow, that line just hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling so many of us know, that relentless whirlwind of thoughts and worries and just noise. It is exhausting. But what if there was a way to actually calm that storm?
All right, so let's get into it. The story kicks off with a problem that I think pretty much all of us will find incredibly relatable: the challenge of a restless mind. So let's meet our main character, Marco. He's a young guy, 24 years old, and his mind it's in constant motion. A chaotic, nonstop stream of thoughts that leaves him feeling totally uneasy and just plain exhausted. And, you know, he felt completely trapped. It's like on one side, he's just weighed down by all these regrets and sadness about the past. And then on the other side, he's completely consumed by anxiety and fear about the future. He was basically living everywhere except for right here, in the present. And the toll this took on him, man, it was immense. It wasn't just in his head, it was physical. He was always tired, couldn't find a single moment of peace, his sleep was a mess, and maybe the saddest part of all, he had actually forgotten how to smile. So finally, Marco just hits a wall. He realizes he absolutely cannot go on like this. He has to find a solution. And that's what launches him on this journey, this quest for peace. And then a little bit of hope appears. It comes in the form of a story he hears about this wise old man. Apparently, he's a former psychologist who kind of left the city life behind for a quiet life up in the hills. Marco thinks, hey, maybe this is the person who has the answers he so desperately needs. So, after a pretty long journey, Marco actually finds him. And the old man, he's just the picture of serenity. It's such a stark contrast to the total chaos going on inside Marco's head. So he walks up to him and makes this really simple, heartfelt plea. Can you help me quiet my mind? But here's the thing. The wise man doesn't respond with some big lecture or a complicated theory. Nope. Instead, he proposes a very, very simple and very physical task. Okay, so here's the test. He tells Marco to take a glass of water filled right up to the absolute brim and carry it from one end of the village to the other and back again. Sounds simple enough, right? But of course, there's a catch. And this one condition, it changes everything. He's told, you must not spill even one single drop of water. That simple rule, well, it demands his absolute, 100% unwavering focus. And as he starts walking, something really fascinating happens. The village is buzzing with life, right? You've got kids playing, dogs barking, shopkeepers calling out to people. But Marco, he is so focused, so intent on that glass of water that all of those distractions just fade into the background. And he does it. He actually does it. He returns to the wise man. The glass is still completely full, not a single drop spilled. He completed the task perfectly. And that, right there, sets the stage for the real lesson. Okay, and this brings us to the big payoff, the moment we've been waiting for. The why behind this whole strange task is finally about to be revealed. So the old man doesn't even congratulate him. Instead, he just asks a really simple question. But this question, it's the key that unlocks the whole experience. He asks, did you see or hear anything on your walk? And Marco's answer is immediate. He says, no. I was only focusing on the glass. He didn't see anything, didn't hear anything else. And why is that? Because his entire attention, his whole being was focused on that one single thing, keeping the water in the glass.
And there it is. That's the light bulb moment. The wise man explains that is the secret. He says when your mind stays in the present moment, then there is no space for fear, no confusion, and no extra thoughts. By focusing completely on that one task, Marco's mind literally had no room left for worrying about the future or feeling sad about the past. The storm was gone. He had found peace. So, this is a great story, but what does it actually mean for us? Right here, right now, with our phones pinging and a dozen tabs open on our computers. Well, that is the most important takeaway of all. See, the story completely reframes how we think about peace. It's not some destination you have to arrive at or something you have to go out and find. No,
It's an internal state that's already inside of you, right now, and it's accessible the very moment you bring your full attention to the now. And we can actually break this down into a really practical technique. So, step 1, just acknowledge the storm in your head. Recognize the chaos. Step 2, consciously choose your glass of water. This could be anything, a single task you're doing, the feeling of your breath, the sensation of your feet on the ground. Step 3, when your mind wanders, and it will, just gently guide it back to your focus point. And finally, step 4, realize that in that moment of focus, that is where you find the peace.
At the end of the day, the lesson is so beautifully simple. The power to calm that storm inside of you, it doesn't live in the future, and it's not buried in the past. It's right here, in this exact moment, just waiting for your attention.
And so that leaves us with one final really powerful question to think about. In the middle of everything you've got going on, what's your glass of water? Where is your focus right now?